this video and this voice, it may sound very familiar, but don't be confused or be confused. It is not a ghost from YouTube's past. It is not somebody who has laid down and taken the censorship. It's a new YouTube channel. It's a new YouTube channel, and as you can tell from the title of the video, it is a time for judgment. Now, I know a lot of people will be fussy about what I decide to call the channel, and what was I going to call, and what am I going to do as a new YouTuber and all. Of course, thanks again for being here, everybody. But for the time being, it's good to have another with a different name. Now, some might say, hey, I know who you are. Well, you could just listen to the channel and make the assumptions if you want to make it, but there's no link whatsoever to any other channels. Every way you look at it, you know, every single way. So, like I said before, it's going to take more than something like that to silence this voice. I'm a voice, like many out there, a voice who wants to be heard, and also a voice that people want to hear, unlike the voices that get pushed onto us. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate everybody who is here. The channel is now going to be called A Time for Judgment. Now, I took that name from scripture, from 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 16 through 17. But if you suffer as a Christian, do not be ashamed, but glorify God that you bear that name. For it is time for judgment to begin with the family of God, and if it begins with us, what will the outcome be for those who disobey the gospel of God? So that is where the name comes from. For those of you who get sentimental about all the other things and the names and the old versus what's new, I am not a brand. This isn't like, you know, I'm a guy with a voice and what matters is the content that I get out there. So I know people, oh, I like the old intro, and well, it's just new things. It doesn't mean that anything is different. And this is because this is what the world has come to, not because I want to do this. In fact, those of you who might know me, who listen, or know me on a deeper level, or maybe I've had a conversation with you along the way here on my journey on YouTube. Maybe you're somebody I knew growing up, I don't know. But I don't like having to do this. I don't like wasting my time. It's one of my top pet peeves, if not my top, wasting my time. And by that I mean anything that is a task that is pointless. And this, having to do things like this is obviously a pointless task. But again, I'm a new YouTuber, by the way. But having to spend the time, think about this stuff, and waste time. Now, some will say, well, you didn't have to do that. Well, if I just sit pumping out content that new people aren't going to see, then there's no point in me doing this. And I had some people who were like, that's ridiculous. Just make the content. Well, it's easy for you to say. I don't know how you provide for yourself or your family and how you eat and all those things. And at the same time, I don't know what you do with your hours in the day. And it's none of my business, just like my hours in my day are nobody else's business but mine, even though Big Brother tends to think it's their business. Little do they know, it's not, and it's never gonna be. I felt compelled to do this. I was not going to be stabbed at, poked at. I've eluded this entire nonsense for years, and I'll continue to elude it. And you can like me, you can hate me, you can call me a shill. I don't care. I don't care. If people want to listen to the content, stay here and listen. If you don't, you don't. The point is that I hope new people will find it. That's why I had to come up with something a little catchy. I wanted to keep something along the lines of, you know, my cool new logo. You know, I thought maybe I'd do a pyramid and show up bleeding blood out of the eye because it's suffering and it's in pain, because that's what's going to eventually happen to these demons. And again, I read the scripture, and that is the reason I chose this name. So the good news is that the channel is ready to go. As you saw in my gaming videos, my grasshopper video, very popular on YouTube. So they approved the channel, which means new people can find the channel for now while I'm a partner with YouTube because we're buddies. And for the time being, this is the route that I'm going to go. Now, from here on out, it's all about the content. It's not about me. This video really isn't about me, but I wanted to make sure people knew, because some people obviously subscribe and they're like, I don't know what this is. I see some games and things like that. And that's because I'm a new YouTuber and I'm just trying things out, playing some Sega CD games. And by the way, for those people out there, some people commented, they're like, where did you find it? It's just literally, I found on YouTube videos, like people doing entire walkthroughs of these old Sega CD games. I never played these games actually, and then I just commentated over what was happening. I didn't have a remote control video game in front of me. I was just watching it like you were watching it, and just talking, just saying stuff for 15 minutes pretty much. So no, I was not gaming. I mean, you get the point. So the content going forward, I'm feeling like I want to talk more about things that interest me. Not that video games and grasshoppers don't, but things that interest me that might help people open their eyes to what's going on. So I have a new intro coming out. That should be tomorrow or the next day. And then I have a ton of content coming out. Now, in the meantime, since then I've been posting exclusively somewhere else, but I can't say where. It's a website that allowed me to post, and I won't say it here, but I will let you know that there has been so much going on and there's so much more to cover. So I will be here covering it. I hope you like the new name. I hope it, I know that, nobody likes change. I mean, that's just the thing in life. Like, that's why when you have to do something you've never done, of course you're intimidated by it, right? You ever fired a gun, someone hands you a gun, and they're like, shoot the gun. You're like, I don't want to touch the gun. I don't even know what it's going to blow my leg off. But if you're experienced with it, you're like, it's not a big deal, right? If I handed you an axe and I said, you got to chop wood, you'd be like, whoa, what? You never touched an axe before, right? So it's a different comparison. But, it's a new name and everyone's used to the other one. And I get it, but just look at it the way I'm looking at it. If anyone should be upset, it's me, right? Having to do all this and having, a channel at 500,000 subs in a year, right? And would probably have 10 million. I don't think twice about it. I just want my channel to be left alone. And I just want to be able to talk about the topics that I want to talk about. And of course, I would have preferred to go that route. But if I'm not upset to the point where I would quit and I would sue, or which of course I wouldn't win because they own the courts, then you shouldn't be here, right? Because I could sit here all day and say, how many channels have I made that have had 100,000 subs, right? Who cares? It's not about the logo, the branding. It's about the message and the voice. And hopefully these videos help wake people up. And I know from reading the comments that it has helped a lot of people. And that's why I continue to do it. But again, I didn't want to continue on channels. All those channels got hit. They're still there. Some of them have the content wiped off because they just kept removing videos. Some don't. So, they'll be there. But if I can't reach new people, I don't know what the point is. And if you're not in if you're not monetizing in the partner program, you don't reach new people. They aren't going to, let you trickle out or anything like that. They suppress it. That's what they continue to do to all my channels. That's why I kept making new ones. And that's why new people kept finding. So anyway, I'm talking about just, I'm obviously going to have to delete this video at some point because of some of the stuff I'm saying, because I went off track. Because I'm a new YouTuber, remember? And I'm excited to be here. I can't believe that so many people came over and watched the videos. And again, joking aside, I'm very grateful for everybody who did that. I know how annoying it is for everybody out there to have to do. I am very humble, despite what some people say. So just the fact that it is annoying. I've heard people and they're like, all they gotta do is click to subscribe. I know, but at the same time, it's like, do they though? They expect you to kind of come back. So I get it. I hate having to ask, but at the same time, it's like I didn't sign up to do this to have to self-promote myself and be like, go there, follow this link. It's super annoying. So I appreciate it greatly that people, even though it might have taken 5 seconds, took the time to be here. And I ask you, you might see comments in other videos and stuff who are looking for me and like, where is he? Where is he? Even on my old channels, because I don't have time to go through the comments on the old channels. I have too many old channels. If you go over there and you see somebody's like, what happened to this guy? You can let him know where I am. And again, now I have to delete this video in the next 48 hours, but by that point, everyone will probably have seen it and we'll be moving on to important content. Lots of stuff in the music videos still to cover. And people are like, that's not important. Oh yeah, it is. It is, because the zombies out there who have taken something in their body, well, they're telling you what's going to continue to happen to you as you do it. And of course, there's so many other things, which I've covered on the website, which there are some videos maybe I will upload here, discreet. I don't know. I'll figure that stuff out in the future. But I wanted to let you know the name, the new name. I hope it's acceptable and it's okay. It is not called a time for judgment, because I am going to sit here judging people. Because I know Christian people are like, okay, Christian, you're not supposed to judge. I'm not sitting here judging people. I'm using the scripture and I'm saying, judgment begins with the family of God, like the scripture says. And if it begins with us, what will the outcome be for those who disobey the gospel of God? And on this channel, I'm not just exposing those who disobey the gospel of God, because again, we're all sinners. I'm talking about people who are indoctrinating people with Satanism, and people who are not. Sometimes I say like, well, these people are beyond saving, and people get mad at me. Well, I don't think anyone's beyond saving, of course, because anybody can come back and come to our Father or be born again, obviously. But I don't pray for the devil. And if you're at night, you're up at night, and you're like, Satan, I'm going to pray for you. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you're too far in the lollipop land, okay? Because God and the devil do not like one another. I don't think that's going to change if you've read the Bible and the outcome, which we already know in advance. So there are a lot of people who literally are possessed and are beyond saving at this point. Like, I'd say like the Rothschilds, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm not sitting here with this name, To Pass Judgment. I thought it was a decent name, a good name, of all the ones I went through, and I appreciate this a lot that people said there were a lot of good ones. I obviously wanted to pick one that stuck with me, and this verse stuck with me. In again, that's in 1 Peter, chapter 4, or excuse me, 1 Peter, chapter 4, verse 17. I always say that, and people are like, it's not 2, it's second, or it's 1. I mean, those are the people, right, who will, anyway, the same people, it's like, they point out your sin, and then they go home and commit the same sin. Then have no self-awareness and don't realize they're doing the same thing. So anyway, that's the verse, and I thank everyone for being here. And from now on, this channel, and again, the other ones, they still might be used. Never say never. And of course, with this nonsense going on here, I'm sure at some point I will get one of them functioning again. It's just going to take time. So for now, this is where I'm going to be. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a time for judgment. Thank you for being here, everybody. God bless you and your families.